Los Angeles is facing a crisis that seems impossible to ignore. Encampments stretch across Venice, West LA, Brentwood, downtown, and countless other neighborhoods. Residents say the problem is no longer isolated to a few streets or districts. It has become part of everyday life. Tents appear under overpasses, beside businesses, and along sidewalks, creating growing concerns about public safety, sanitation, and quality of life. Even after police and city crews clear an area, many residents report seeing new tents return within hours, leaving people wondering whether the city is truly solving the problem or simply moving it from one block to another. For years, city leaders promised major progress on homelessness, assuring voters that the crisis could be dramatically reduced through aggressive spending and new programs. Yet despite billions of dollars invested, many Angelenos feel the situation remains largely unchanged. Questions are now being raised about whether the city's approach has produced meaningful results, or whether the system itself has become trapped in a cycle where money continues flowing while visible improvements remain limited. As frustration grows, residents are demanding answers about where resources are going and why outcomes have fallen short of expectations.
One of the most controversial arguments emerging from this debate is the claim that shelter space already exists for many people currently living on the streets. Some officials and advocates argue that a significant portion of the homeless population refuses available housing because it comes with rules, restrictions, or requirements they do not wish to follow. Others strongly disagree, arguing that housing availability, mental health challenges, addiction, and affordability issues make the crisis far more complex than simply choosing whether to accept shelter. This clash of perspectives has become central to the broader conversation about how homelessness should be addressed. Critics of the current system argue that too much attention has been placed on spending money rather than measuring results. They point to reports showing that some expensive programs fail to deliver lasting improvements for participants. According to these critics, accountability is missing from a process that continuously funds organizations without sufficiently evaluating whether people are successfully transitioning into stable housing, employment, or recovery. They believe that without clear performance standards and oversight, programs can continue operating regardless of their effectiveness.
Neighborhood concerns have also become a major part of the debate. Residents living near proposed housing developments and tiny home villages often support helping those in need, but many worry about crime, public safety, and declining quality of life if surrounding issues remain unresolved. Some point to experiences involving theft, vandalism, fires, drug activity, or gang-related problems near encampments, and fear that simply relocating people without addressing underlying behavioral and criminal issues will not create lasting solutions. These concerns have fueled growing tensions between communities, activists, and local government officials. Meanwhile, business owners across parts of Los Angeles say they are reaching a breaking point. Many describe losing customers due to encampments blocking entrances, safety concerns, and deteriorating street conditions. Small businesses that have survived economic downturns, rising costs, and competition now face additional challenges related to public disorder. For some entrepreneurs, the frustration stems not only from homelessness itself, but from what they view as inconsistent enforcement of laws that would otherwise protect public spaces and commercial districts.
As criticism intensifies, city leadership faces mounting pressure over promises that have not been fulfilled. Public interviews and debates have highlighted the gap between ambitious goals and current realities. Supporters of city officials argue that bureaucracy, legal obstacles, and the sheer scale of the crisis have slowed progress. Opponents counter that leaders should have anticipated these challenges before making sweeping commitments. The result is an increasingly polarized discussion over responsibility, competence, and the future direction of homelessness policy in Los Angeles. Alternative proposals are now gaining attention. Some advocates argue that homelessness cannot be solved by simply providing housing in the same environments where destructive behaviors developed. Instead, they support large-scale residential campuses located away from areas associated with crime, addiction, and instability. These facilities would combine shelter with treatment programs, education, job training, counseling, and structured support systems designed to help individuals rebuild their lives. Supporters believe this model offers a clearer path toward long-term independence, rather than temporary accommodation.
The broader debate ultimately centers on a fundamental question. What does successful intervention actually look like? Is success measured by the number of shelter beds created, the amount of money allocated, or the number of people who permanently leave homelessness behind. Increasingly, residents are demanding outcome-based approaches that prioritize measurable improvements in housing stability, employment, recovery, and public safety. They argue that compassion alone is not enough if programs fail to produce meaningful change for the people they are intended to help. As Los Angeles continues searching for answers, the homelessness crisis remains one of the defining issues shaping the city's future. The challenge extends beyond politics, budgets, or campaign promises. It affects residents, business owners, taxpayers, public officials, and most importantly, the thousands of individuals still living on the streets. Whether through stricter accountability, new treatment-focused models, expanded housing initiatives, or a combination of multiple approaches, the city faces a growing demand for solutions that produce visible and lasting results, rather than continuing a cycle that has persisted for years.